Hi, my name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm a Cavoodle puppy coach and breeder for Noodle Way and River City Puppies. As a coach, my philosophy is simple. A Cavoodle should always complement your lifestyle, not complicate it. And this is the foundation to everything I teach. For almost the past decade, I have been working in the breeding, training, grooming, and veterinary sectors of the small animal industry. I've also been raising Cavoodles for the past 16 years, so I have definitely learned a thing or two about the breed along the way. Now this podcast is all about Cavoodles. Raising Cavoodles, training Cavoodles, grooming Cavoodles, breeding Cavoodles, and how to shape the behavior of a Cavoodle puppy. So if you're a Cavoodle parent or you are looking at adding a Cavoodle to your family soon, then this podcast is for you. New episodes will be released each Tuesday morning, and you can follow me across all social media under the name @OodleWay for more tips and advice on Cavoodles. Thanks for tuning in. Hello and welcome back to episode 12 of the Cavoodle Coach podcast Rebooted. My name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm your host. Well, good morning everyone. So today I am talking about a topic that I am quite passionate about, and it's pretty much the reason why this business even exists. And that's obviously about helping new Cavoodle families raise their puppies to complement their lifestyle and not complicate it. And the only way we can achieve that with our puppy is to limit the anxiety that they experience. So in today's episode, I want to talk about signs that your puppy is experiencing anxiety and then what you need to do to help them get through it, or if you can, completely avoid it entirely. So this episode was inspired by a conversation I was having with a Cavoodle family last week, and it was talking to them about a certain behavior the puppy was displaying and why the puppy was doing it. And of course, it did come back to anxiety. So let's jump straight into it. Signs that your puppy is having anxiety. Now, I say this again, I say it all the time. You know, your puppy can't speak English. Your puppy cannot verbally tell you what it is thinking and what it is feeling. So your puppy is always going to be trying to communicate this to you through its body language. And if you aren't aware of all of these body language signals that your puppy is displaying, you're never going to have an easy life with your puppy, because they'll be trying to say something, you won't be picking up on what they're saying, confusion will build, there'll be miscommunication, and then your puppy will continue doing these behaviors, you'll start getting stressed, you'll start getting angry, and it'll spiral out of control. So the very first thing a puppy will start doing if it's starting to feel any sort of stress or any sort of anxiety is something called lip licking, which is when they start just licking their lips, and it's a completely out of character behavior, unless of course they've just finished eating a yummy meal, then they might, lick their lips. This is like a tongue twister. Lick their lips because it tastes good. But if your puppy is just standing there and it starts licking its lips in front of you, that is a sure sign that your puppy is starting to feel some stress and anxiety. Another one is panting. Now, if your puppy starts to pant and they haven't just been doing some pretty vigorous exercise, which no puppy should be doing because of their joints, so your puppy really shouldn't have a reason to pant, and if it's hot, they should be brought inside into a cooler area. So you should never see your puppy panting. Your puppy will pant if it's in pain, or it will pant when it is stressed or has some anxiety. So that's the second body language signal they'll start to display. Another one is coat shaking. Now, again, unless you've just taken your puppy out of the bath and they have a wet coat, if your puppy starts shaking its coat out, that is a sign of anxiety. And the reason they're shaking their coat out is actually to try and relax their muscles and to, loosen up. I always say, imagine you've just been in a pretty serious meeting and you've walked out and you roll your shoulders to try and relax yourself and relax those tense muscles. That is exactly what your puppy is doing, and is another very, very obvious sign that your puppy is experiencing some stress. Another example of some body language your puppy would do when they are experiencing stress and anxiety is yawning. Now, puppies shouldn't be yawning. Firstly, if you're following a good routine, your puppy will be getting enough sleep. So they shouldn't be yawning because they're tired. And if your puppy is walking around and it's looking at you and it's yawning, it's not because it's tired. It's because, again, it's trying to relax. It's feeling all of this stress and anxiety. And by yawning, they inhale, obviously, a lot of oxygen, which will in turn relax those muscles again. So your puppy should never be yawning because it should be getting enough sleep, which means if they are getting enough sleep and they're still yawning, that's a sure sign of anxiety and stress once again. Now, there are so many other body language signals that your puppy will display when they are experiencing stress and anxiety. And I cannot emphasize how important it is for you as a puppy family to learn these signals. It's the only way you can understand what your puppy is trying to say to you. And the second that your puppy starts displaying any of these body language signals, it's your job as their parent to get them out of that situation, to calm them back down, to make them feel safe and secure once again. Otherwise, if they continue feeling this stress and this anxiety, they're going to start doing some other behaviors that you're not going to want. And this leads me into my next point of a sign that your puppy is experiencing anxiety. Now, this is what happened in my conversation last week with this family. They were saying that the puppy kept walking over to chew on the leaves of a plant in the mornings, and it was a very different behavior because the puppy was going out of its way to walk over there and chew. And they were a bit, wondering, why is this puppy doing this? Does it like the taste of these leaves? Is it just trying to be naughty? And the actual reason the puppy was going over to chew these leaves is in the morning, they have kids, they're trying to get to work. So it's a very busy, intense household as everyone is rushing. And so the puppy is feeling all this anxiety and this stress, and it would have been showing some other signs such as the lip licking, such as the panting, such as the yawning or the coat shaking. But if you don't pick up on all these little behaviors and then that anxiety and that stress continues to rise within your puppy, then they're going to go and do a behavior to try and reduce the feeling of stress and anxiety, to get rid of this adrenaline that they now have. And that is typically displayed in something like chewing or something like barking or crying or digging. So if you're not picking up on these early signs of anxiety and stress within your puppy, then they're going to start doing these behaviors that you do not want. And then it's going to cause a very stressful relationship between you and your puppy, because they'll start barking, they'll start digging, they'll start chewing on plants. You're not going to like that. You'll get angry at them. Your puppy's anxiety and stress will increase even further. They'll start to get scared. They'll start weeing in the house because they're now scared, and the problems and those behavioral issues just keep popping up over and over again, and they start popping up much more frequently. So you can see here how important it is to always be, analyzing your puppy's behavior, looking for what they're trying to tell you. And if they are showing any signs of stress or anxiety, you need to get on top of that. You need to recognize it, and you need to do something with your puppy to help them feel relaxed once again. So if your puppy, let's say, for example, was showing some lip licking and the household was really busy, everyone was rushing to get ready, what I would be doing is I would be going, okay, let's pause for 2 minutes, everyone, and let's sit down and let's all just relax. We'll take some deep breaths, we'll relax, the puppy will calm down, and then to help the puppy for the rest of the morning routine while we're all busy, let's give the puppy something productive to do, such as licking a licking mat. And that repetitive licking is going to release some more calming endorphins for your puppy. You can give it to them inside their crate, which is their safe space, and then your puppy's anxiety is not going to skyrocket, and you'll be able to do your own morning routine with the kids, with the family, and get out the door without your puppy experiencing so much anxiety. Now, if you didn't do this and you ignored your puppy and then you just ran out of the house very quickly and your puppy's anxiety was already skyrocketing, that is exactly when separation anxiety forms within your puppy. And that is when they're going to spend hours barking, howling, crying, chewing things, stressing, panting, and it is a recipe for disaster. So it's all about catching that anxiety as soon as it starts to show itself, and then doing some productive things to help your puppy calm back down. And that way everyone is happy, and your puppy is not going to start doing these behaviors that you don't want, such as chewing on the plants. So I guess if you're going to take anything from this episode, something really important to always keep in mind is that your puppy is always going to be a reflection of the environment they are raised in. They are so intuitive, they are so in tune with your emotions, and they can sense these emotions in the air. If you're starting to stress, if you're rushing, if your own anxiety is rising, they are feeling that straight away, and they are going to reflect it straight away. So when you're bringing a puppy home, you have to try and form a really calm and positive and safe environment for them. And that way they're going to feel very calm and safe. And then they're going to be relaxed, and then they're not going to start all of these behaviors that we don't want to see. It's really, really important for a family that you start to learn these body language signals. It is the only way to raise your puppy easily. It's the only way to have a puppy who is so well behaved because they're not doing anything such as all of these puppy behaviors. I'm using quotation marks here because puppy behaviors are just behaviors born out of boredom or anxiety. And if you can get rid of the boredom and you can get rid of that anxiety, you're never going to have a problem with your puppy and raising it. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because I talk to so many puppy families and I hear all of the, little problems they're having, again, either born out of boredom or born out of anxiety, and I help coach them through it. But it's become very apparent to me that there really needs to be something that families can follow to help educate you on these body language signals, to educate you on the cause of anxiety, and to give you an actual routine with your puppy that isn't going to cause anxiety or stress or boredom within them, so that you can have a very easy life with them and you don't have to put your lifestyle on hold or on pause for them. And that's why I am currently in the midst of creating a product. It's a bit of I don't know the final name yet. I've just been hypothesizing names, but so far I've been calling it the Cavoodle Planner. And essentially what I want it to do is I want it to go through an evaluation test so you can learn about the specific personality traits within your puppy, because that does dictate what kind of enrichment you need to provide to them and what sort of attention you need to provide to them. But then I also, and this is the most important part, I'm wanting to provide you with a daily routine, a daily schedule with your puppy, maybe for 4 weeks. I haven't quite decided. And I want it to literally go through what to be giving to your puppy each morning, each lunchtime, each afternoon, each evening, so that your puppy is getting the proper enrichment, the proper rest, the proper play, the proper training, the proper socialization, so that you as the family can follow it very easily. It takes the thinking out of it. I want to tell you exactly what to give to your puppy. Maybe it's a licking mat and 5 minutes of stay training in the morning, and then some socialization to the park and doing XYZ activities while you're there. I want it to literally just I want to just give you the exact plan I would be doing with my own puppy if I had one, and exactly how I would raise them. And when you follow a plan like this, a plan that has been structured around a cavoodle, their personality traits and their needs, what that means is the puppy is going to be happy. The puppy is going to be fulfilled. The puppy is going to be feeling safe. And like I said, that means there'll be no anxiety, no boredom, and it means you're going to have a very easy lifestyle with them. The kind of lifestyle where you'll say, puppy stage, what puppy stage? My puppy never went through that. And that's what I hear from all of my litter families, and I coach them through this. And this is what I now want to provide to all of you. So if you are getting a puppy this year, we're now in June. So if you're getting a puppy before the end of the year, and this is something you would be interested in, following a routine literally designed by Cavoodles, and a routine I literally would be following myself with a brand new puppy, then please send me an email, hello@oodleway.co, or go onto Instagram, go onto my page, it's just @oodleway, and then send me a DM with the word behavior, and I'll add you onto my close friends list, which is where I'm sharing all of the updates on this project, and when it comes out, I'll obviously give you some early access. I'm really excited, and I really do think this is going to be very helpful to Cavoodle families, because it's all these little things that the average family doesn't know and isn't aware of, all these anxiety signs, all these boredom signs that they don't pick up on. And that's when these behavioral issues form. And those behavioral issues can be lifelong. And I want to make sure you do not experience that with your puppy. So that's it for this episode today. That was some signs of anxiety within a puppy, some things they will do, and then what you need to do as a family to help reduce that anxiety before it spirals out of control. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you have, please leave me a rating and a review. Each rating and review that I get, it obviously spreads this podcast further, and more families get to hear all of the information and education I'm sharing. And I would love for more families to hear this, because I honestly just want to make sure that every puppy is in the most beautiful environment and is feeling so happy and safe and content and isn't feeling anxiety with their new families. So yes, this is it for today's episode. I will see you next week. This has been your Cavoodle coach, Tiana Karamayas. I'll see you later.